the last game. Okay. So Colorado versus who'd they play even, bro?
North Dakota
Freaking
State,
North Dakota State, who's actually NCAA um
FCS.
an FCS powerhouse. I know like them, Montana, those are usually like the teams who are in the championship each year. So they're a prestigious program in their own right. So basically, they're like the Alabama of the FCS. 100%. Yeah, yeah. So
Shout out Carson Wentz. Shout out Easton Stick.
shout out Trey Lance. Who else
Trey
went there?
Lance.
There's another Chargers receiver. I think what's his name? Homie Tyrell Williams went there, I believe.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, I think he went too. I think he went to North Dakota State or something like that, or Eastern Washington, one of those FCS NAU type schools. But no, there's good talent there, man. Like you see Carson Wentz, freaking yeah, Trey Lance.
Mhm.
Who else who else went to did Josh Allen? He went to Wyoming. Wyoming's
Oh,
regular D1.
Wyoming.
Is that regular
Yeah.
D1?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, never mind then. But yeah, so it was pretty much in Colorado fashion and went down to the wire. One of the most entertaining teams, if not the most entertaining in college football. So Shadur Sanders balled out, Travis Hunter balled out, Jimmy Horn Jr. balled out. But again, the issue for Colorado seems to be at least their offensive line looked like it was able to hold together. Still, you would like to see them be able to run the ball against an FCS team like North Dakota State, just because they're going to have, you would think, the recruiting advantage in offensive line compared to the FCS defensive line. But their defensive line, again, failed to get any pressure on the quarterback. Uh, and that's really the biggest thing, man. Like they just really, the quarterback looked way too comfortable back there, and kind of the offense. North Dakota State, in a lot of ways on offense, beat themselves by kind of either making the wrong call here, a missed throw there, but they really were able to do,
Where
from my
they
perspective. Go ahead.
where they fucked up, in my opinion, the most is like there were a couple drives where they were just moving the ball, and then for some reason the coach just brings in the backup quarterback, and like they
What
had
was that?
like a negative play, like, and it was like he's like a Taysom Hill type package, I think, where it's
No, what was that about?
yeah,
Yeah,
it was just like overthinking shit. Like your starting quarterback was in a hell of a rhythm. He was dictating the flow. They were moving the ball. They were having no problems getting first
none.
downs, moving the ball, controlling the clock, controlling the tempo. And then you kind of just throw shit off by bringing the backup in. You get a
Weirdo.
negative play here, delay of game, that drive ends, and then you wasn't getting stops. So it's like at the end of the day, you got like maybe one or two or three stops throughout the whole game. But it was like at it like in it's not time to be experimenting with your gadget plays, with your Taysom Hill type packages when your quarterback's in that good of a rhythm. Just let him rock. Like I don't know. That was the biggest thing that was pissing me off. That the North Dakota State, like, not that I was rooting for them to win, but it was just like what the hell
Yeah.
are you doing? Type of thing.
Yeah, too much. Overthinking, trying to get too cute, and yeah, mess things up on offense for them. Yeah, yeah, just kill drives with that BS. I did. I was thinking like, yeah, what was that about? Why are you, like you said, messing up the rhythm of the quarterback? It's not like the quarterback was underperforming. We're like, we got to get someone else in here. It was just a
He
coach
was hooping.
trying to, yeah, coach was just trying to do too much. But yeah, so what scares me the most is their lack of size and on the D line and inability to rush the quarterback against a team like North Dakota State. They got Nebraska coming up, who just is known to run the football. That's kind of been their DNA since the 90s when they were the powerhouse of the
They got that
NCAA.
five-star quarterback though, Dylan Raiola. They'd say he like Mahomes.
Yeah, yeah. So Colorado's definitely gonna have to win in a shootout. It's looking like against them. They'd have to be like a 48-45 type game. They got Colorado State, who you already know that's a rivalry. It's gonna be tough. They got Baylor, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, which probably looks like the toughest game on their schedule, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. So looking at the schedule, it doesn't seem too tough, other than Utah and Nebraska seem to be the most physically imposing teams
There's a lot
on
of
that.
ranked teams on there though, right?
There's about from
I
last
think there's
glance
like
about
five,
four.
4 or 5 at least.
Yeah, there's four. So Kansas State, Arizona, Utah, ooh, Kansas and Oklahoma State. So five. Yeah, but ranked in week one, we'll see exactly what's going to happen by then. So looking at their schedule, I do give them a chance, I guess. Do you think they can win their division and make the college football playoff, which has
No,
been expanded to what, 12 teams or
no,
16?
I don't
Is
think they can.
12? You don't
Yeah,
think they
12.
can?
No, I don't think they can
And the reason they can't is because of their lack of
because of their
pressure.
defense, and I think Dion is kind of a sus coach. I'm not gonna lie.
You think Deion's a sus coach? What makes him a
Terms of
suspect
like his
coach?
decision making. Um, Obviously, like he's a great motivator, but I don't really know where he stands as far as X's and O's. And then in game management, I think is like very questionable. Like remember on the last drive of like when they're trying to run the clock out, um, they got that first down after the long pass interference call, and so there's only like a minute, 20 seconds left. And I don't think Colorado or North Dakota State has any timeouts. And the first play, like all you need to do there is just run the ball 3 times, and the clock it runs out. Like the game's over. Or you could just take three
Yeah.
knees, low key, and the game's over. The first play, they chuck it downfield 40 yards, like incomplete pass. And I'm like, what do you like? What? Why are they doing that? Like that doesn't make that makes no sense to me because at like of course they were airing that bitch out all night, like whatever, that was cool, but like in that instance, they don't have a way to stop the clock. There's only a minute 20 left. Just run the ball 3 times, take a knee 3 times, and get out of there. If you had to punt it with
Okay.
five, you got to punt it with 5 seconds left, then punt it with 5 seconds left. But throwing it for like that's just like head scratching stuff that like I think is gonna come back to bite them when they play non FCS opponents. No offense to North Dakota State. They're a great program um in their own division and stuff like that. But when you get into the Big 12 and you playing ranked opponents with better talent and better coaching, then what? You're not gonna get away with that same shit that you're getting away with against North Dakota State.
No, 100%. I definitely agree. I didn't get to watch the end of the game in real time. I find it really, I got to see exactly what you're talking about because I find it really hard to believe a scenario where they could have took three knees or even hiked the ball, ran around the back to waste 5 seconds and then went down, and
That's
they
silly,
didn't do
but
that.
it's what they did because they ended up punting it. Like they punted it back after an incompletion, and North Dakota State got the ball back with like 30 seconds left.
And
So if you think
almost,
about
yeah,
it,
they had a,
you take that knee, and that clock runs, that the game's pretty much over in that at that point.
okay,
If
yeah.
so,
So
like
you're
that was really weird to me.
so you don't believe in Dion as a coach. Basically, you're saying that it's his ego is going to get in the way of them, or his
I just
flashiness.
I think he's a solid. Like I'm not saying he's a bad coach or anything, but I'm just saying, um, like I don't like when you consider their context of the fact that they don't have the best talent on paper, especially on the defensive side of the football. Especially when you're going up against ranked opponents, all like five ranked opponents in the Big 12. I don't think that his coaching is good enough. No, like nowhere near good enough to kind of overcome the issues that they're going to have, especially on the defensive side of the ball. When you get into that Big 12 type of play, I think that coupled with the defense, they're gonna get at least four losses in my opinion, if not more.
Yeah. Well, Dion. When you look at Dion as a coach, there's different type of coaching, and there's different types of head coaches, especially in football. And there's more than one way to skin a cat in this. So you look at a guy like Dion versus a guy like Lincoln Riley, who's like an offensive mastermind. That's never going to be Deion Sanders. He's not a X's and O's guy. I do if I asked Deion Sanders to draw me up a offensive trap, a power. What's the difference between power, trap, and a stretch? I think Deion Sanders could go up on the whiteboard, draw out the whole offense, and do that for me? No, I don't. But I don't expect him to do that. He's going to be more of a culture, more of a motivation guy. So, um, he's got to build a strong supporting staff. He's got to have 100% trust in his offensive coordinator, and he's got to have 100% trust in his defensive coordinator. He doesn't even handle the special teams. He got to have 100% trust in that person too. Where Dion is, he's going to be almost like the president, where it's like he's going to be kind of motivating the team, setting the culture, recruiting, and then if it's fourth down and one, I have overriding say, I don't care if you say we should punt it. If I say go for it, you call up a play for me to go for it. You run me up a play to, and it better work. So that's the type of coach that Deion is, and it can work, but it's just all depending on the staff that he's put around him. So I think they had the same offensive coordinator from last year, right? If I'm not
No, they have
mistaken,
a new one. They have a new one. They
and
have
they
Pat.
definitely better. Yeah, they got Pat Sherman. They better have a new defensive coordinator too. And I know
I
I
don't know.
see they, yeah,
I
they
would
definitely
assume
do,
so.
absolutely do. And then I see they got Warren Sapp too, coaching the defensive line. I don't know. I'm sure Dion probably works in individual. I could see him working with the corners and the secondary in general more than anybody because of course he's gonna
Mm.
know expertise. But I don't even know. A lot of his game was just talent based. I don't even know which technique he can really even teach to these kids. You know what I mean? So that's more. It's really just comes down to the staff and the talent up front, offensive, defensive line for Colorado. That's just gonna take them as far as they can go. I'm sure a lot of like jitters went into this game, but I feel like we're gonna learn a lot more after they play Nebraska.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just, yeah, like I said, I don't think the talent is gonna be enough. Like the talent and like you said, the staff may be good around him, and Dion's a great motivator, and I don't doubt anything like when in terms of the culture and whatnot. I think those are things that are very real. But I don't think that alone is enough to elevate them um to being like a team that I could see being a college football playoff contender, even with the 12 team format. Um, because I can't sit here and say like, oh man, Dion and his staff are one of the best staffs in the country. Like I haven't seen enough to make that conclusion, and that could be a thing by the end of the season that may end up turn out to be the case. But if I had to go with my gut and whatnot, I would probably say no. Um, that I don't think that it's like his staff is just going to be leaps and bounds better than other staffs in the Big 12 to the point where they're going to be a team that's going to be a contender in the Big 12 and vie for one of those, playoff spots. Because I think
I
there's teams that have more pedigree, they have continuity, they have a system in place. Coaches have been there for longer periods of times. They have more familiarity with the Big 12. All of those things I think are factors that I think Colorado and Dion are going to have to adjust to, and it's going to be a lot to ask for them to adjust to that on the fly in year one of being in the Big 12. That new schedule, the different travel that you're going to have to do, and be able to have to compete week in and week out. In the Big 12, there's not really any off weeks really in the Big 12, whereas in the Pac 12, you could look forward to getting to Arizona State. I think they might have lost Arizona
not
State.
last year, not last year. The Pac-12 was arguably the best
There,
division
there
in
was like,
college
yeah, but
football.
there was still like even a few like kind of weak, like the bottom of the Pac-12 still was kind of weak. Like Arizona State, Washington State wasn't very good. Da, 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 da.
Stanford
Like
wasn't that good
Stanford
last year.
wasn't good. So it's like kind of
Yeah.
I don't even know who the weakest team in the Big 12 is, but I feel like they're gonna be pretty competitive. Like who would probably be the worst team? Like it's gonna be like Texas Tech or something. Texas Tech is not a like they're not gonna be a terrible program. They're gonna be
Well,
competitive.
the Big 12 is known for offense.
Offense.
They're known
Yeah.
for air raid. They're known for spread offense. They're known for little to no defense. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what the Big 12. So Colorado seems to be fitting in very well. But I think Nebraska is Nebraska in the Big 12 now, or are they still Big 10?
They're Big Ten.
They're still Big 10. Yeah. So Big 10 is more run ground game. That it's more smash mouth football. You look at teams like Northwestern in the past, teams like Nebraska, Wisconsin. It's going to be 30 degrees
Iowa.
outside in December, Iowa, and we're going to just have these big white boys on the offensive line, and we're going to try to just impose our will on you throughout four quarters. So I feel like getting Nebraska early in the season, like they are now, everybody's fresh. We still got the speed advantage. It's going to be hot no matter where we're playing. I think they can beat them. But like you said, Nebraska, for the first time, if you're saying that this guy's like Mahomes, then it's going to be arguably
That's what the
the bet.
comps that they're giving him. I mean, he's a 5-star
Is he
true
light
freshman.
skinned and has curly hair?
He kind of looks like him a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I did see him. He might be Mexican. Isn't he Mexican or something like that?
I mean, Mahomes is kind of Mexican too, so I don't know. They
Mahomes
probably
is
one of
kind
them
of
light skin.
Mexican.
They're one of them light skinned Mexicans. You know what I mean?
Nah, I did see him. He looks, yeah, he didn't look black. I did. I know exactly. Yeah, and he kind of got the same
Does Mahomes
mannerisms.
look black though?
Mahomes looks black. This dude looks Mexican. This dude looks like
Would you be saying he looks black when he's putting ketchup on his steak?
listen, man, there's a lot of black dudes that do a lot of questionable things. But yeah, he's yeah. Sadly, I got to
That
claim all
if
of
you
them.
heard that voice, if you heard that Kermit the Frog voice, you're gonna be like,
But then I'm gonna see him do what he do on the field, and I'll be like,
oh
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
I'm gonna
yeah,
claim
yeah,
him.
yeah, that's
Let's say
valid.
Tiger, yeah, he's
Valid.
Tiger Woods. Uh, but yeah, so we'll see. I think this game's gonna kind of I'll give Colorado the pass. But at the end of the day, man, like if you're the players on that team, if you can't, but like the thing with Colorado, they got so much star power on their side. Like if you can't have on your sideline Warren Sapp, one who's with you every day, Deion Sanders is with you in your ear every day. You got Terrell Owens who's there once a week. Ed Reed was just there speaking the gospel. He was giving them a speech with the Bible, telling niggas to wake up in the meetings. Like if you tired, stand up in the back, yelling at niggas in meetings. If you can't get up and ready to play for that man, you just don't got that dog in you.
Hmm.
I'm about to say Ed Reed came into my house right now and told me to put some pads on. I'm putting pads on. If that don't get you up, then it's just not in you. And then it's like we just got the wrong guys in this program. But and another thing that you said that's extremely valid, especially look at the Big 12 and any competitive team, is the continuity. So we know this Colorado team had like a 50-man roster turnover from last year. So yeah, we're gonna see kind of how close knit this group was able to come pretty much with 50 complete strangers up to like 6 months ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, good luck to Colorado. I mean, college football's 10 times more entertaining when they're good, as we saw last year, versus when they were shit. So hoping they're good this year.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you want to get into Dak versus Deshaun? Ooh, okay. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, let me look up this. Let me look up this graphic, bro. I saw a graphic that was crazy.